Welcome to Introduction to Java Programming. In today's episode, we'll look at the for loop. If you haven't seen the previous video or if you are not aware of the loops, please go through previous 4 or 5 videos so that you understand the concept correctly. So for loop is basically a counter loop and it runs based on counting like count 1 to 5. So we are counting is action and we did 5 times, so this is basically counting the action 5 times. Another could be reading the book like from page 11 to 20. So this is again we are reading a page one by one and we are counting from 11 to 20. Similarly, we have looked at other example like countdown from 10 to 1 and drive till 6 kilometer, or from second floor go 3 floors up. All these are the example of the counter loops for loop. So let's look at the previous while loop. So we have to initialize, then we have to have condition and then code block. So can you guess what is missing here? Can anyone point out that? Yeah, write in comment below. Okay, so what missing here is this is an infinite loop. It will keep running again and again forever. So that's why we will look at another type of loop, which is the counter loop or for loop. So this is the syntax of for loop. So it got 3 parts in it. So this is the syntax. We start with the for, then we specify the initialization part. So here if we look at here, we initialize this loop out this variable outside of the loop, but here in the for loop we initialize within the loop, within the boundary of the loop. Then we specify the condition and then we do the increment. So if we look at here, so here is the initialization, here is the condition, and somewhere in the block of the code we have to increment the counter. In case of for loop, we provide all these condition right from the beginning, like the initialization, what do you want to initialize, or what condition you want to use to break the loop, and how the increment will work. So now it's hard to forget the increment part because there are 3 parts of it. Okay, so let's look at the loop which counts from 1 to 5. So here we initialize integer I is equal to 1, which we were previously doing here in the while loop outside the boundary of the loop. And then we had this condition in the for loop, like I is less than equal to 5. Here we have this condition, and then I plus plus, which is the increment of the counter, and here we have to do it in the body. So now the body only include the code which is specific for your case, but you specify all 3 parts right on the top here in the loop. So that's how we define our loop. So if we compare if we compare these two loops like for loop and while loop, so we can see here in the while loop we went through start. Initialization was not compulsory at all. You can utilize any way to check your condition. So that was not part of the loop. So this is our loop, and this is the boundary of the loop that I explained. So you check the condition. If it was true, you run the code, and if it's false, you end the loop. Here the initialization is now part of the for loop boundary. Then we check the condition, similar here, and if it's true, we run the code block, and then we update the counter, and then we check the condition again. That's how for loop runs. So it start from the initialization, and initialization is executed only once. It is not executed again and again. From here it might seem like that it will initialize again and again. No, that's not the case. Once it initialize, then it goes to check the condition, then run the code, then update the counter, then check the condition, run the code, update the counter, and if this condition doesn't met anymore, it will end the program. So this is now the boundary of the for loop. For loop contain everything within the boundary. So here if we look at this example, initialization, the condition, the increment of the variable, and here that's how we do it in a while loop. Theoretically these both loops are similar. In a way you can achieve similar functionality from both of the loops, but the major difference I have explained, the boundary, what is included and what is excluded. If we write a program where we initialize I with 2 and I is less than equal to 5, so this will start from 2 and I is less than equal to 5 and it will increment one by one. So first it print floor 2 because of this line, and when it goes up, now the value of the I is 3. Now it will check if I 3 is less than equal to 5. Yes, it's less than 5, so it will print. Then it will increment I again. Now the value is 4. It checks if I is less than equal to 5. Yes, it is less than, so it will print the message, and then it goes for the it goes up again and increment the value of I with 5. 5 is less than 5, no, but 5 is equal to 5, yes, so it will print this condition, and it goes down, and again when it comes here it will increment the value of the I due to this portion. Now I is 6, it will check if 6 is less than 5. No, it is not. 6 is equal to 5. No, it's not. So that means that this condition is not true anymore, and hence the loop will halt and the program will jump outside of the loop, and that's why it prints floor 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's look at another example. Like if we want to print the pages we were reading. So here we can see we started from the 11. So the initial value would be 11 here, and then it goes up till 20. Okay, so there is a bug, like the, yeah. Okay, so that's how it will run. Like this line will first time print 11, second time 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 until it reaches the 20. And when it prints 20, it goes up. Now before checking the condition, it increments it, and now I contains 21. 21 is less than 20, no. 21 is equal to 20, no. Both conditions are false, so this loop won't run again anymore, and it will jump outside this loop. So here we can decrement the loop in this way as well, like count down from 10. So we initialize our value with the 10, and we keep running the loop until the value of I is greater than 0, and also we will decrement one by one. So first time I value is 10, it will print the 10. Next time 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once it print the count 1 here, it will go up. When it go up, then first it will decrement the value. Now the value of I is 0. So 0 is greater than 0. No, it's not anymore. So this loop will break. Okay. So what is the difference? As I explained, theoretically they both are same. You can achieve almost everything which can be achieved from uh, one type of loop can be achieved by another loop as well. But there's one difference, like the scope of the variable. So if we go back to our example here, so this is the boundary of for loop, and it includes everything. And as soon as we go beyond this curly braces, like the closing bracket, when we go beyond this line, uh, this variable I won't be accessible anymore, because it will be collected, it is cleaned, because its scope was within the for loop only. Whereas here we define this variable, we use this in this while loop, but after the end of this loop we still have access to this value I. So based on such situation we make these changes, and you can just use I is equal to 1 here. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. Please comment below, share with your friends and family on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Thank you. Take care. Bye.